Hi everybody. Today we're going to be drawing a rocket. So the first thing you'll need is your paper. We're going to fold it into our 4 squares like we've been doing. So fold up, make sure your edges match, and then you can crease there at the bottom. And then you're going to fold in half, make it into a nice square, make sure your edges match, and you can crease it on the side. Once you have your square, you can unfold, and we're ready to draw. Let's see. Nice and flat. Remember, I'm using a marker today, so when we're drawing, there are a couple of lines that you might want to erase later. That's okay. If you're using a pencil, you're more than welcome to. If you're not, we'll just color right over it. So when I start my rocket, I'm going to start with the body of my rocket, and I want to make sure that I go over the middle here. So I'm going to start at this line, this very middle line here, and I'm going to curve up into this top corner. So that's our very first line. Kind of a curved line because a rocket's going to come into a point. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to make sure that this is right in the middle here. So I'm going to start down here a little bit lower. I'm going to curve up and touch my point. So there's the nose of my rocket. And then I'm just going to give it a line down here and close it off. A little bit of a curve too, teeny tiny curve. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and add the bottom of our rocket ship. So the first part that we're going to do is extend our line downward. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Extend your line downward. And then we'll give it one more curve at the bottom. Good. And then we're just going to add a little stripe here in the middle. Here we go. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and add some detail on the side here that's going to prop up our rocket if it were standing. So I'm going to add 2 lines, very small lines. And then we're going to go downward towards this bottom corner. Give a nice line. I'm going to pass the bottom of my rocket because it's going to help support my rocket if it were standing up. Good. And then we're going to curve inward, and we're going to touch these corners right here on the bottom of our curve. So I'm going to start at the bottom of my line, move inward towards the rocket. Same thing, start at the bottom, move inwards towards that rocket. So now you can see these are the 2 things that help to support the rocket when it's standing up. There's probably a third on the back. We can't see that one. And then we're going to move up here, and we're going to add some detail in our rocket. So we're going to add a circle right here in the middle. It's going to be like a window. And then we're going to add a circle on the outside of that circle. So it's the edge of our window. There we go. And then we're going to add a little bit of detail to the nose of our rocket. We're just going to add a little curve right there. Give it a little triangle tip. Good. And then we're going to come back down here and we're going to add some fire. So it's like our rocket is flying into space. So the first thing I'm going to do is in the middle, add 2 curves. You add 2 curves coming out of the bottom of your rocket. Okay. And then we're just going to add little lines coming in. And then we're going to add 2 more curves coming out right here. And touch them at the ends. That's your first flame. And then we're going to do that one more time on the outside of this one. So it's going to be a bigger flame coming out. So right here in the corners is where I'm going to pull my lines from. Go down, down. And then we're going to give it a little bit of a curve inward. So inward, I'm going to make a little line there. And then one more time. Curve it down. And then same thing, we're going to curve it back up. Give it a little curve there. And then we're going to curve down and make our point. There we are. There's our rocket. Now we're going to add a little bit of detail in the background. So he's in space. So we want to let our astronauts, they can see the planets or stars or things in the background. So up here, we're going to draw our first planet. So we're going to give it a good circle. Great job. And then right in that circle, we're gonna draw a line straight across. Good. And from that exact point, we're gonna come out and hook it around back to the planet. Then we're gonna do the same thing on this other side. From that line that I drew, come out, hook it around, touch my planet. And you've got Saturn. We're gonna come down here and we're gonna draw the Earth. So Earth is gonna be in the corner looking like the rocket is flying away from Earth. It's going into the sky. So I'm gonna start here and just do a curve. When I get to my flame, I'm gonna stop. And then same thing, I'll finish it off over here. So there's my Earth. It's coming from the Earth and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller in the background. So then we're just gonna add some squiggle lines here that make it look like the planet has land and water. So I'm gonna start here, just add a little squiggle. Add one over here maybe. All right, so you can see I can color these green, I can leave the rest of it blue, then it's gonna look like our Earth. Then I might come in the background here and add some stars. So a star is kind of harder to draw. So when I'm working on a star, I'm gonna draw a line straight down, and then I'm gonna curve up, but out just a tad. From that same line, I'm gonna cross over the first line I drew, and then I'm gonna cross over those two, and then I'm just gonna connect those last 2 points there. And there's my star. So I'm gonna make a couple of those stars in outer space. Add some more up here. Lots and lots of detail. Add some more down here. If you wanted, you could even add an astronaut in your window. And there you are. You have to color your rocket and you've done wonderful today. Great job. Thanks for coloring with me.